The story begins where we watch a video recording of the Earth-616 version of Morbius, who had left this message for his ex-wife Martine. Having been separated from the woman for quite some time, Michael still loved her deeply and wanted to send this video as a last will and testament, for he was about to embark on perhaps one of the most dangerous missions of his life. It is here that we learn that the Marvel Zombies virus, which decimated the reality of Earth-2149, had somehow made its way to the main Marvel universe, and Michael was in charge of the secret team sent to eradicate it once and for all. We are then taken to a cruise ship in the dead of night in the waters near San Juan. This ship had sent out a bizarre distress signal that was retrieved by the covert dimensional protection group called Armor. This distress signal was to alert that the ship had been overtaken by a band of monsters. These weren't just any monsters though. This was a race of aquatic creatures called the manfish, which somehow had been infected by the zombies virus and now wished to treat the passengers on board as their very own tasty dish of caviar. As the fish dined on flesh, they were soon rudely interrupted, where a portal opened, revealing a set of beings. While you'd expect maybe the likes of Iron Man or maybe the Hulk to jump out, we get something even better, which was a hairy dude in a tank top and jeans who straight up turns into a werewolf and starts tearing the undead fishmen to shreds. This werewolf, of course, being Marvel's very own Werewolf by Night. Man, Marvel Zombies 4 opening up with Lycans just shredding up zombies in the very first issue? You, sir, have my attention. To join in on the undead evisceration was the sorceress Jennifer Kale, who was a survivor of Zombie Deadpool's attack back in Marvel Zombies 3. Next on this list of insane heroes was the literal son of Satan called Hellstorm, who quite literally used the fires of hell to burn the vermin to a crisp. Not about to be outmorbed by his fellow teammates, the team's leader Morbius would gloriously emerge from the skies, blasting the creatures with dual-wielding automatic weapons. Hey, honestly I think this is all the Jared Leto Morbius was missing. Bro just needed a gun. To further prove what a Chad he was, this Morbius would reveal that he had been doing extensive research on the Marvel Zombies virus, where he discovered that the so-called zombies were nothing more than a delivery system for the virus itself. The corpse would then locate other potential hosts and use their saliva to infect others, all with minimal exposure to air. Fascinated by this, Michael would play Mad Chad Scientist and create a series of rifles that would fire canisters filled with genetically modified, oxidizing bacteria. When this bacteria would be exposed to an infected's bone marrow, it would cause a chemical reaction, making their anatomy erupt. Bottom line, cool vampire man, make cool gun that makes zombies go boom. Meanwhile, in the Caribbean Sea, we would see just who the cause of this spreading undead outbreak was on Earth-616. This would be the Earth-2149 version of Deadpool. Well, his head at least, that had escaped Armor custody along with the original Marvel zombie Simon Garth after the events of Marvel Zombies 3. Using the distraction when Zombie Kingpin's forces attacked the facility, Deadpool and Simon used one of the teleporters, where Wade, not being the best with coordinates, mistakenly got them teleported to the bottom of the ocean, where he helped himself to some Long John Silvers, which came in the form of the manfish, which he infected, leading to the events aboard the ship that we saw earlier. Coming upon the island nation of Taino, Deadpool of course would go on a mile-long yap session to his new zombie best pal, who remained incredibly stoic and just ventured on. In an almost trance-like state, Simon would take the rather confused Wade to a disturbing sight, which was a full-on plantation where we would see that the workers too were zombies, hard at work mass producing, what I will just call booger sugar so YouTube doesn't shut down my channel. They already tried once, and I'm not taking any more chances. Making their way inside the hut, the pair would come across the leader of these zombies, which was a man donned in feathers and chicken bones, which of course Deadpool did not let slide and immediately started roasting the moment he saw him. It is here that we would see Simon speak for the very first time, where we discover that he was being controlled by this mysterious voodoo chicken man, who we come to learn was called Black Talon. Simon would inform Talon of the zombie Deadpool's home dimension of Earth 2149 and the carnage that such a virus could cause. Intrigued by this revelation, Talon ordered for Deadpool to be locked in a cell, where the man was not having any parts of this and managed to wiggle free, where he began to chow down on Talon's poor zombie slaves. "Hey man, what did they do to you?" Despite trying his best to escape, this Deadpool was still just ahead, and since he was now the shortest of short kings, he was easily placed on a stick and was now Talon's prisoner. Things then cut to Morbius's band of monster hunting misfits as they make their way through the desecrated cruise ship. It is here that the heroes would come across the survivors of this attack, which in truth were much better off dead, as their stomachs had been torn open, where they were visibly pregnant with zombie fisherman eggs. We would see just who was responsible for this revolting attack, and that would be the zombified version of the Namor villain Piranha, who set its hungered sights upon the group. Back at Black Talon's estate, we see the man on a phone call with a mysterious third party. Informing this party of his dimensional discovery that could end the world as they knew it, the crime lord saw this as a weapon which he could sell to the highest bidder. This bidder would be revealed as the demonic crime boss known as the Hood, whose interest was all too piqued at the revelation of the Marvel Zombies virus, and urged Talon to continue this world-ending sales pitch.